Council, are we ready?
Ready.
All right. Hello, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining our City of Soledad Joint City Council Successor Agency Housing Authority and Successor Housing Agency regular meeting today, Wednesday, July 1st, and I will start this meeting at 6:01. So what we'll do is we'll have our public meeting going on, and of course, that is also available via Zoom at cityofsoledad.zoom.us /J/84962194176 or by calling 1-669-900-6833 and using meeting ID 849-621-94176. And of course, we also have translation services available. And so I have already called the meeting to order. If I could have a roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Fernando Ansaldo Sanchez,
Present.
Councilmember Fernando Cabrera, Councilmember Evarista Benuelos,
Here.
Councilmember Ben Caldera.
Here.
Thank you. All right, so next we will be having our public comment for closed session items only. So at this time, any member of the public may address the council on closed session items appearing on the agenda. Speakers have limited time of 3 minutes. Please be brief and to the point. And our closed session item for today is the city council recessing to closed session to confer with our attorney regarding litigation pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9 AD-4, deciding whether to initiate litigation. Do we have anybody that is joining us in the chambers today that would like to make public comment on our closed session agenda item? All right, seeing none, I will take it up to Zoom. All right, seeing none on Zoom, we will be recessing to a closed session and we will be returning at approximately 6:30. Thank you. All right. Welcome back, everyone. We finished closed session. So at this time, I'll turn to our city attorney to provide our closed session report.
Yes, the only report that I have is that the council conferred with legal counsel regarding an item involving the possibility of initiating litigation and provided direction, and no other reportable action was taken.
Great, thank you. We'll now move on to our Pledge of Allegiance. If I can have Rolando Aguilar lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for that. So now I will turn it over to the other mic. Do we have any additions or modifications to the agenda?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. Yes, we do have a few modifications to the agenda. You have council members in front of you, the items that will replace pages within your packet. The first item is a substitution of a page for the minute motion, which is the draft resolution that you'll be reviewing and asked to adopt this evening. The modification was the inclusion of the word farm workers in the last whereas of the resolution. So you have that before you take action. The second item is modification that we have is for item 10 on the consent calendar. Exhibit A is being completely replaced. This is due to an administrative error where our computer systems had changed a letter, basically an E in parentheses, and put a strange character, and the inadvertent omission of some of the CIP projects that are planned. So now the report matches our CIP plan. The third item, again, is on the consent calendar, and it is related to item number 11, the master fee schedule. Page 111, related to the development impact fees, is being replaced. Inadvertently, those fees were increased by the incorrect percentage by the city municipal code. The development impact fees are to go up annually based on the construction index as of December of the preceding year for the San Francisco area. Just for your reference, the increase is 3.6%, and that is completely set by the Muni Code. And the final item is item number 3 of the business items this evening. We are replacing the staff report due to an administrative correction. The original opening paragraph mistakenly referred to the city of Gonzales, which is, I can certainly appreciate the efforts of our city attorney having represented 3 cities. It's very easy to make that mistake when you can plagiarize some of the documents. We're very fortunate that we actually can share our services with one of our sister cities. So those are the 4 corrections.
Cool. Great. Sounds good. All right. So now we'll move on to public comment. At this time, any member of the public may address the city council on items not appearing on the agenda and items of interest to the public that are within the jurisdiction of the council. A public comment card should be filled out completely to ensure the speaker is called upon to give comment. Public comments are generally limited to 3 minutes. The mayor may further limit the time for public comments depending on the agenda schedule. Please be brief and to the point. No action or discussion shall be taken on an item not appearing on the agenda. And just a brief reminder to keep it cool. No derogatory remarks. Yeah. All right. Do we have anyone in the chambers that would like to make a public comment? Oh, hello.
Members of council staff. I guess we want to thank
city council represented the mission and our work last week. Velasquez presented that council to me as I retired yesterday. Here today, just to thank the council, much appreciation for the partnership over the years. A lot of great things happening in Soledad, recycle water project to activities for youth, and look forward to more partnership going forward with our new superintendent, Eddie Capulo. But just thank you very much. Appreciate the opportunity to work in Soledad. It's my second home. Love this community. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
You.
All right, do we have any other public comments from those of us joining us in the chamber? All right, seeing none, I will take it out to Zoom. Do we have any public comment from those of us joining us via Zoom? And if you are joining us via Zoom, please remember to use the raise hand feature so we can acknowledge you. All right, seeing none, do we have any written public comments? Yay, okay, thank you.
There were 2 written public comments received. This first one is from Soledad resident Natalia. I want to find out what steps need to be taken to petition a big box store coming to Soledad. We need like a Target or Walmart or Costco or something. LOL. Gas is way too expensive, as are our taxes. Has the subject ever been brought up? There aren't any big box stores between Salinas and Paso. I would imagine that would bring in massive revenue for South County. Or a hospital. I truly believe Soledad has the ability to really be a shopping/wine country destination. We live in absolutely gorgeous California foothills. Thank you for all that you are doing. I personally think Soledad could give Napa a run for its money. I just don't really understand why we don't. There is so much potential here. In regards to Measure A, is there any way else to bring in funding other than raising taxes? Everything is already hitting pockets hard. That's the end of that one. Here's the second one. This is from someone named Vicky. It's a conversation though. I don't know how to read it except for how it's written. Okay. Hi, Eva. It's Vicky. So sorry it's taken me so long to get back to you about the stop sign speed bumps in our neighborhood. The one I'm talking about is on Terraza Street by Lum and Pavarini Parks. Cars are constantly speeding up and down Terraza next to the parks, and those parks are where all of the local sports teams and cheerleaders have their practices. During school season, there are always so many children there to play and practice. I think it is only a matter of time before someone gets hurt. If you could please bring it up to the city council meeting, it would be great. My husband has complained at the police department many times to no avail. We would appreciate anything you can do to help before a child gets hurt. Also, on a side note, do you know what time the blues band starts? On 4th of July. Sorry.
It's
Thank
okay,
you.
It's part of the public record. Yeah. All right, do we have any other comments from anyone before we move forward? All right, sounds good. That is the end of our public comment portion. Next up, we have a minute motion. So we have a minute motion before us to approve a proclamation celebrating the 250th anniversary of the United States of America, the 175th anniversary of California statehood, my favorite state, and the proud heritage of the city of Soledad. And so I don't think I've ever had to present one of these before. Do we take this out to the public, Mike? Yeah. Okay, so if anyone has any comment regarding our minute motion today in the chambers? All right, seeing none, I will take it out to Zoom. Seeing none on Zoom, I would like to entertain a motion to approve this minute motion with the correction in front of us today.
Motion to approve. Second.
If it's a minute motion, does it have to go like person for person?
It does not, but it doesn't hurt to do that either. So
Like roll call?
So either way.
Oh,
roll
Can
call
I get
vote,
a
why
roll
would you
call
do that?
vote, please, Darlene?
That is for the folks that are here, tonight, or the roll call for every member.
You just note in the record that there's an absence for the other two.
There's an absence for Mayor Velasquez, Mayor Pro Tem Fernando Ansaldo Sanchez.
Yes.
There's an absence for Fernando Cabrera, Councilmember Teresa Manolos,
Yes.
Councilmember Ben Chavez.
Yes.
Awesome. Motion passes. So next we'll have our council presentation. So first we have a proclamation of the City Council of the City of Soledad celebrating the 250th anniversary of the United States of America, the 175th anniversary of California statehood, and the proud heritage of the City of Soledad. So whereas on July 4th, 2026, the United States commemorates the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, celebrating the enduring principles of liberty, democracy, and equality, and have guided our nation for 2.5 centuries. And whereas California celebrates the 175th anniversary of its admission to the Union, recognizing the diverse people, cultures, and communities whose contributions have made our state a place of opportunity, innovation, and resilience. And whereas the city of Soledad traces its history to the founding of Mission Nuestra Señora de la Soledad in 1791, and in 1873, Catalina Munraz laid the foundation for the city by donating land for a church, school, cemetery, and the Southern Pacific Railroad, establishing Soledad as an important agricultural and transportation center for Monterey County. And whereas since its incorporation in 1921, the city of Soledad has grown into a thriving and diverse community built on the values of hard work, family, public service, and agriculture, with generations of residents contributing to the economic vitality of California and helping feed communities throughout the nation. And whereas the city of Soledad recognizes our long tradition of service, including the World War I veterans who helped establish Soledad's volunteer fire department in 1925, as well as the generations of residents who have served in the armed forces during both world wars and every conflict since, defending the freedoms and ideals upon which our nation was founded. And whereas as we celebrate these historic milestones, we also acknowledge the contributions of the indigenous peoples who first stewarded this land, the pioneers who built our community, and the educators, first responders, healthcare workers, business owners, farmers, farm workers, and volunteers whose dedication continues to strengthen Soledad today. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the City Council of the City of Soledad do hereby recognize July 4th, 2026 as a day of celebration honoring the 250th anniversary of the United States of America, the 175th anniversary of California statehood, and enduring legacy of Soledad's residents. Right. So that brings us to our next proclamation, which is a proclamation of the City Council of the City of Soledad proclaiming the first Tuesday in August as National Night Out. Oh, sorry.
Society.
And I think we have Mr. Stevens from the Soledad Historical Society to accept the proclamation of the City Council of the City of Soledad celebrating the 250th anniversary of the United States of America, the 175th anniversary of California statehood, and the proud heritage of the City of Soledad. Yeah, so if you want to say a few words.
Just want to add that this is the 150th year that since the city became a township. That's what our current display is. I have some of my board members here. Mr. Bangs is one of our board members. We have two new board members you may not know with. Please stand, Kevin, so you know. Krista. There are two of our new board members. and we are, our new mini display is going to be celebrating our volunteer firefighters. As your proclamation mentioned, it's the American Legion started it in 1925, and the volunteer fire system ended about 1998 with the introduction of your paid chiefs. And so things have changed since then. But back then, between Gonzales and Soledad, there were 2 ladder trucks, 2 water tenders, 2 rescues, 4 engines. Let's see, and a command vehicle. So there was quite a bit, and over 50 firefighters. Ben would know that because he's been, so back then we had a lot of going for us. Anyway, enough said.
Yay, thank you so much. And I want to also thank the Historical Society for always providing a lot of very good educational programs for us all. And I think it's important that we remember our history, and I am also glad to see that the Historical Society Committee has been expanding. So thank you.
Okay.
All righty. So next we have a proclamation of the City Council of the City of Soledad proclaiming the first Tuesday in August as National Night Out. So whereas the safety and security of our communities are of utmost importance to the well-being and prosperity of our citizens, and whereas community engagement and collaboration between residents, law enforcement, and local organizations play a vital role in preventing crime and enhancing the quality of life in our neighborhoods, and whereas National Night Out is an annual campaign that promotes police community partnerships to make our neighborhoods safer, and whereas by participating in National Night Out, we send a powerful message that our communities are united and dedicated to preventing crime and building a safer and stronger Soledad. And whereas in keeping with this year's theme, Stronger Together, the Soledad Police Department is creating a space where residents can feel a sense of collaboration and community. Now, therefore, the City Council of the City of Soledad does hereby proclaim the first Tuesday in August as National Night Out in the City of Soledad. All community members are encouraged to attend all events hosted by the Soledad Police Department to help build stronger community police relations. Do we have? Say that again, sorry. Oh, this will be presented at the event. Thank you. All right, I will lean closer to my mic. All right, next we have a proclamation of the City Council of the City of Soledad recognizing the month of July as Park and Recreation Month. And I think we're tired of listening to me talk, so I'm going to pass this over to Councilmember Caldera to read out.
Run this on here. A proclamation of the City Council of the City of Soledad recognizing the month of July as Park and Recreation Month. Whereas parks and recreation are essential to the health and well-being of communities, and the City of Soledad Parks and Recreation Department provides inclusive programs, services, and public spaces that support physical activity, mental wellness, and community connection. And whereas the Soledad Parks and Recreation Department serves the youth, families, and older adults through fitness classes, out-of-school programs, summer camps, cultural events, and the Soledad Youth Council, fostering development belonging to civic engagement. And whereas since the founding in 2021, following the passage of Measure S, the Parks and Recreation Department has grown rapidly and now maintains multiple parks, supports special events, and delivers key services across the city. And whereas the Parks and Recreation contribute to Soledad's quality of life by protecting open space, promoting environmental stewardship, supporting workforce development, and enhancing the city's social and economic vitality. And whereas the July has been recognized nationally as Park and Recreation Month to celebrate the vital role of parks and recreation in communities across the country. Now thereof, the City of Soledad hereby proclaims July as the Park and Recreation Month, and the City of Soledad encourages all residents to recognize and participate in the benefits of parks, programs, and public spaces. Thank you, Anna.
Hello, Mayor and Mayor Pro Tem and council members. Thank you for proclaiming July as Parks and Recreation Month. Parks and Recreation Month is the perfect time to celebrate the heartbeat of our community. Our parks, programs, and events are where relationships grow, culture meets, and community bonds. I'd like to encourage all of Soledad's residents to step outside this July, visit a new park, participate in a community event, and celebrate the vital spaces and people, our full-time and part-time staff, that make our city a great place to live. Join us on July 10th from 5:30 to 8 p.m. at Cesar Chavez Park for Music in the Park, featuring live music, local food vendors, and activities for the entire family. Our seniors, join us for our July social on July 14th at the Community Center from 11 to 1 p.m. And parents, it's not too late to sign up your 5 to 12-year-olds for our summer camp. Parks and Recreation has something for everyone. You can find additional information about this event and many more by visiting our website, our social media accounts, and we look forward to serving you. Happy Parks and Recreation Month.
Yeah. Alrighty. And then we will now move on to our next proclamation, which is a proclamation of the City Council of the City of Soledad proclaiming July 6th as Mario Martinez Day in honor of Soledad native and Olympic weightlifter Mario Martinez. And I will pass this over to Councilwoman Benuelos.
And also before I do that, the one that will be accepting the proclamation is John Ordonez on their behalf. So proclamation of the City of Soledad proclaiming July 6th as Mario Martinez Day in honor of Soledad native Olympic weightlifter Mario Martinez. Whereas Mario Martinez, a proud native of Soledad, California, was born and raised on a ranch in our community, where his passion for strength training began humbly under a tree using improvised equipment and unmatched determination. And whereas Mario Martinez went on to become one of the most decorated and respected American weightlifters in history, competing in 3 Olympic Games, 1984, 1988, and 1992, and winning the silver medal in 1984 Olympic Games in Los Angeles, becoming the last American man to win an Olympic medal in weightlifting. And whereas over the course of a 23-year career, Martinez earned 10 national championships, medaled in 3 Pan American Games, including a gold medal in 1987, and held senior American records in the snatch, clean, and jerk and total for 2 decades. And whereas before rising to international prominence, Martinez worked as a guard at the Soledad prison while dedicating himself to training, making regular commutes to San Francisco to work with his longtime coach, Jim Schmitz. And whereas Mario work's ethic, humility, and perseverance in the face of adversity became a source of inspiration for many, not only as an athlete, but as a role model for youth and aspiring lifters across generations. And whereas Mario Martinez passed away on January 14th, 2018 at the age of 60, leaving behind a remarkable legacy of dedication, strength, and pride that continues to uplift the community of Soledad and the sport of weightlifting nationwide. Now thereof, be it proclaimed that the City Council of the City of Soledad does hereby declare July 6th as Mario Martinez Day in the City of Soledad in honor and recognition of Mario's outstanding achievements, his deep roots in our community, and the enduring legacy he leaves behind. Thank you.
The Martinez family was not able to make it, so I came in their place, and I'd like to thank you so much for the award that you're going to give to him. I'm John Ordonez, lifelong resident of Soledad.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, John. And so before we're going to take pictures individually, so we'll give them to you at that time. Thank you.
I was going to say that as well. So we will now be taking a quick pause to take some pictures with our proclamation recipients.
Ready?
Thank you so much for bearing with us there while we took some photos. So I'll move on to our next item on our agenda, which is our consent calendar. So All matters listed under the consent calendar are considered routine by the city council and will be adopted by one action of the council unless any council member has any questions or wishes to make a statement or discuss an item, or the public as well. So do we have any members of the public joining us in the chambers that would like to pull an item from the consent agenda? All right, seeing none, anyone joining us via Zoom? Seeing no hands raised, I will take it out to the council. Is there any item on the consent calendar that we would like to pull from the agenda? No?
How about for comment only?
Which one?
So on C14, but Mike, can I make just a comment on that on C14?
Oh, I was gonna pull C14 also.
Okay.
All right, council, so then I will entertain a motion to adopt consent items C-1 through C-13 with the modifications on C-10 and the modification on C-11. You have to state what the modifications were. All right.
So moved.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No. Any abstention? No. Okay. So C-1 through did I say 13 or 11? I don't remember.
13.
You said the right thing. Okay, good. All right. So for C-14, I'll turn it over to Councilwoman Banuelos for comment.
For comment, but Mike, if I can share, that is my district and what's gonna be, what does it entail? Okay. So I just wanted to also make a comment. This is a district for back to school theme block party. This is gonna be a resource fair for the district where I am at. And it's not just only for them, but also for the whole community. And this is gonna be a great approach for everyone to join us. And then at the same time, it's going to be our same day of the El Mercadito. So I just want to say thank you for Anna for helping doing that, and also Eric for bringing that together, and Mike and Megan. So this is going to be a great first district party. So I want to bring that to our community.
Great. All right. So I did have a couple of questions and comments for this item as well. So I'm curious to know what the total event cost, including staff time and all in-kind contributions, will be.
At this time, we do not have the actual details of the budget, but the budget for the event is $1,200. And that's what every council member will be budgeted in the 2026-27 budget is $1,200 for their outreach event of their choice.
And so why are we approving this event before we adopt our budget?
It would, well, number one, we don't have a meeting until after August 1st. The event is scheduled for August 1st. And so we needed to take this action because of the street closures, or the one street closure.
Okay. I'm just like a little concerned because I know that in the past, I think other members of the council have wanted to have some sort of event, and we received a little bit of pushback. And so these were like public forums and town halls. And so I think what we have here is like more of a party, and I think a resource fair is great and all. I just feel like it's maybe not the best timing to have something like this, also given our budget shortfall. So I don't know if I would think this is something that we should do now. Maybe we can bring this back at a later time, and probably identify some policies on like what we can and can't host as council members. I know there were some I know there was an event that I was trying to host, and we had to move it over to be hosted by our Catholic church across the street, which we're very thankful for. But I'm just a little bit curious about like what the difference of what that event was versus what this event is. And also too, as I think I'm the only one right here on the dais that doesn't represent a district right now. So I'm at large. And so what does that mean as well? I don't think we've really kind of solidified what we want to do as council members and what that's going to look like for everybody. So, Anna might have a comment on that.
Yeah, I think, the district-based specific engagement was something that was identified and adopted as part of the strategic plan. Luckily, come December, we're going to move to the district base. And I think at that time, everyone will have the opportunity to host specific outreach on their districts. But this is advancing those goals of the strategic plan that you've adopted. Because we do want to make sure, right, that we engage with residents at every level. And this is one of the ways we're able to do that.
And I will say that we have met as a staff and we have met with Councilwoman Banuelos to make sure that the items that are laid out right now for the resource fair fit within the strategic plan. There were some additional ideas that were explored that we've decided not to move forward with because they kind of fell outside of the scope of what the intent was for the community outreach. And so as Anna has mentioned, we do want to make sure that we can engage the public within your prospective districts, and District 4 is one of the districts that is not up for re-election. So, and as was just mentioned, by the time we get to the election, we should have everybody moved into districts.
Curious about that comment about it not being up for election. What do you mean?
Well, District 4 is not one of the, it's not up for election in November.
Okay. So that's why we're doing it, because it's not up for election.
Well, because those funds, that district will still be in place. The two council members that are at large currently will have districts by the time, or someone will be in a district by the time we get to November.
So then are we going to then have every district have this event?
Every district will have the opportunity, will have a budget of $1,200 that will be built into the budget to host an event that fits within the guidelines of the strategic plan, whether that is a listening session at a facility, could be the community center, whether it be in the form of an event similar to what we're talking about now, a resource fair, just some way for the council member of that district to host an event. Likewise, the mayor, who will continue to be at large, will have the same budget should that position choose to do a community engagement forum.
And so for this request from for the Lions Club, so would that be something that we would have to like put in writing that we're accepting a donation? Would that go in Councilwoman 700 form? What would that look like?
And this is something, right, that's still pending, and it's referenced as the request will be made. And if it gets accepted, then it's a contribution, just like they would contribute to other events that we have partnered with them in the past.
Well, my comment is I think we should still establish clear policies and guidelines to remain consistent. I think it should be a conversation with the full council. So that would be my recommendation.
So point of clarification, if we want to do that, I think the subcommittee would want to do the policy and procedures. And so that would be good for the subcommittees to do that. But moving forward, as Mike had mentioned, it's a budget of $1,200. And this is part of the strategic plan for us to engage in our community and resources. So this is a great approach. And again, thank you for reiterating that, Anna and Mike. So, I mean, again, as we needed to agendize this for the street closure.
Yeah, I think my feelings on this kind of still remain, so I'm not comfortable moving forward at this time.
Yeah.
And so I would make a motion to reject this resolution. number 6395.
Okay. So I would make a motion to accept the block party. Or how does that, we do that, Mike?
Well, we have a motion. We have to see if we get a second on that motion. or
Okay.
There's a request for a substitute motion.
Okay. So I'll do the substitute motion after if there's no second.
Well, it looks like there's not a second, so go ahead.
So I'll do the substitute motion that I motion to approve the resolution of 6395.
I'll second that.
Okay, and I do want to, I do want to advise the council that it will take a unanimous decision because there's only three of you this evening. It will require, because there is a expenditure of funds, and all expenditures of funds in the in-kind services do have a cost associated with them, require a positive vote of 3 members of the council.
Okay. So then we'll agendize it on this 14th.
Well, I mean, you haven't taken the vote yet, so you
Okay.
just have a first and a second. So.
Okay.
All right, so all those in favor, please signify by saying aye or yes.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. So I oppose, no. So motion fails. All right, so we will now move on to our public hearing number 1, which is a resolution number 6375, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Soledad certifying an environmental impact report, adopting CEQA findings and a statement of overriding considerations and mitigation monitoring and reporting program for the proposed Almond Acres project, and adopt, waive reading and read by title only ordinance number 781. Do I have to give them? Do I need to keep it or just the title?
We're gonna have to read the entire title into the.
Okay. All right, so an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Soledad announcing findings and approving a planned unit development PUD-24002 and vesting tentative subdivision map TM-24003 for a 12.48 acre subdivision located on the west side of Orchard Lane and Cedar Lane, APN 022-81-005 in the R-1 high density residential zoning district.
Good afternoon, council. Thank you. I know that was a long title. Ariana Mora, Senior Planner with the City of Soledad. So this project is not new to the council. This is the second hearing, and that's the process that these projects, in terms of certifying the EIR and the plan unit development, investing tentative map would have to go through. So I'll do a brief presentation, but just a lot of the items were also presented in the previous meeting, and I'll take any questions after. For staff, the developer is online via Zoom if there's any specific questions for the developer. So really quickly here, it's just a little delayed. Oh, we're not. Okay.
I think you might be starting it from the end.
Oh, there we go. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. So as mentioned, this project was first introduced on the June 17th special or regular city council meeting for a planned unit development investing tentative map application that includes 55 single family homes and 12 multifamily apartments. The action before council is to certify the EIR tonight, and without certifying the EIR and environmental documents, the planned unit investing tentative map cannot move forward. Just as a brief recap, this is the project location. It's located off Orchard Lane. The Almond Acres Mobile Home Park will remain existing, and those details were provided in the previous meeting. Those are 18-unit mobile home parks, which again will be remaining. There are some structures on the site existing, which will be demolished with appropriate process and procedures, and that is part of the conditions of approval, which is provided within Exhibit A. As I mentioned, 55 single-family homes are provided in the project, where the affordable housing component will be under Parcel B, which is the multifamily affordable housing project. And the rest of this is a close-up of that parcel where that multifamily project will be located. Along with the proposed design requirements, the developer will be required to provide all streets with under city standards. So these will be dedicated to the city, and it eventually will come back to the city council for final acceptance through the final map. This is a brief lotting exhibit and proposed site plan of the subdivision. As you can see, it includes a layout of the proposed multifamily housing project as well as the single-family homes. Here you could see the floor plan of the affordable housing project. It includes a mix of studios and one bedrooms. And this, in the previous meeting, was provided, or it was mentioned that Chispo is the nonprofit organization that is working with the developer. And these are just pictures of the proposed multifamily project. So why a PUD? The PUD allows for the flexible lot sizes. It's coordinated through neighborhood design and integrates affordable housing appropriately, as mentioned in the staff report. It also, we focus on improving circulation and connectivity. So some of the conditions of approval provided in Exhibit A help mitigate any impacts aside from what is required from the developer to provide. Some of the issues that came up during this plan review process is open space and connectivity. We provided a better slide. I did have to come back and kind of redesign this as an example, as a visual example. It's just easier to understand that that pathway that is provided in the vesting tentative map will be kind of similar to the picture that is on the right-hand side of the screen. It's not to scale, but at least it gives you a visual representation of what will be included. And as I mentioned in the past meeting, this pathway will be the developer's responsibility. Anything away from the subdivision is something that the city will then need to work on to help and keep that access open. Circulation was also discussed, where the cul-de-sacs have been conditioned to help avoid any parking situations. And avoid any emergency access, not create emergency access issues. Lastly, as I mentioned, we are reviewing and formalizing the certification and environmental impact report, which includes the mitigations and monitoring program, which are part of Exhibit A as well. Lastly, the last city council meeting, there was concern again about the pedestrian access, which has been cleared through this through the vesting map and that pathway that the developer is providing, and creating those connections between neighborhoods. There was also questions about the fencing, and that we added additional language into the conditions of approval to make sure the developer follows the city standards that every other developer would have to follow. And the final design of the fence will be, and any sound wall will be due before construction permit is issued. And then at last, there was issues about parks and impact fees. So the project will have to pay park impact fees to support local park improvements, and that would be done through the permit process. At this time, that concludes my presentation. If the council has any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Thank you so much. So I will move to open the public hearing at 7:19. That wasn't loud enough. There you go. All right. So do we have any members of the public joining us here in the chambers that would like to provide a comment on public hearing number 1? All right. Looks like we have a public comment.
I'm Jake Martinez Perry. I'm a resident here in Soledad, and I've spoken to the city council before on this. Actually wrote in at the last meeting, but I am in favor of this project. I think that it will be great for the community. I think we need more people who can afford housing in Soledad. I think that this will serve people living in Soledad, such as my own family. We live with family right now, and maybe one of these homes we can afford to live in one day. So I think we need more housing, and we need to do it responsibly, and this is a great way to do it.
Thank you. Do we have anyone else from the chamber that would like to make a public comment? All right. Please step forward.
I'm very responsible. I'm a resident at the park.
Mhm.
And my concern is I've been here for 68 years and I've seen Chispa buildings
Mhm.
and I've seen Chispa fences. So what's the guarantee that that fence won't get terrorized by the local kids in the apartment buildings? Who's gonna be responsible for fixing that? The lady said they have beautiful fences and beautiful apartments. Has she been there 3 years after they've been put up? You know, so that's why I'm in favor of a sound wall or an 8-foot fence with a 2x4s on my side. Keep the kids from jumping over. That's my concern. And I'm speaking for probably 4 other traders that are gonna be
Mhm.
neighbors to these apartments. So that's my concern. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. Do we have anyone else from the chamber? Seeing none, I will move on to Zoom. Do we have any comments from those of us joining us via Zoom? Seeing no hands raised, I will now close the public comment portion of the public hearing at 7:21. Alrighty, I will now bring it to the council for any council comments or questions, and I'll start with Councilmember Caldera.
Actually, no comments. The questions that we had last meeting were actually answered by the resolve that you had for the new plans. Thank you.
Councilwoman.
Yes, Adiana, can you put the slide where there was the access to the other to the rec and the community center, please? Okay, thank you. Thank you for that, because I know we had discussed that, see if we're able to maybe have the developers speak with the mission, because we do want to inquire about more amenities at the Rotary Park and maybe do that partnership. And I know the developers kind of listening, so maybe they can reach out to them.
Point of information
This is great.
clarification. I think the onus is on the city to communicate with the recreation district and with Rotary Park and not the developer.
So point of clarification, just to kind of, have them chime in with you guys.
Yeah, so I can clarify
Yeah.
that point. It's a good point.
Mhm.
So the developer is responsible to creating the improvements on the site, which includes pretty much the brown area
Right.
in there where all the red rectangles are
Mhm.
located. In terms of the actual connectivity in the fence where Rotary Park is and connecting that over, it probably will be more of the city doing that in terms of a partnership with the Mission district to have access that way. Eventually, that pathway will be dedicated to the city as a public park pathway. Therefore, we have to be the ones talking with them and having that partnership and how we can bridge those connections. I mean, ultimately, I don't want to speak on behalf of the Mission District, but I think it's an ultimate win for everyone as they are able to access the pool easier. They don't have to go all around town, and it creates a walkable area for the community.
Yeah, and that'd be great if the developer wants to put that, donation in also, probably
Mm.
just purchase something for the amenities and have that, partnership as well with the developer.
Mhm.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. So my comment was going to be kind of similar. I think it's great that that connectivity point will be there, and it would be great to also have a conversation with the rec district just to make sure that that connectivity point stays. And then also hopefully that'll make it so more people are enjoying the facilities. And I think when people start enjoying facilities, pay into it more, so then there's more things that are able to be done. I know that my comment, I think the last meeting was that Rotary Park doesn't really have a lot of amenities, but maybe that'll assist in some way, shape, or form. Also, I think I want to sort of echo what one of our public comments was of we do need more housing. I think we still are a bedroom community. I know I commute about an hour each way, and I know that's true for a lot of folks. And I also want to hear the concerns of the folks as well. And so I'm curious to know if in a few years, right, God forbid, there is like vandalism and stuff like that too, like who is responsible for maintaining the fence? Would it be Chispa? Would it be the city? Would it be a combination of both? I'm not very clear.
Yeah, so I'll clarify two different fences. So the developer is responsible for the sound wall, which is existing right now between Vintage Estates on Orchard Lane Park. It's a white wall that is, I think it's cinder block. We'll still go straight down to San Vicente Elementary to the entrance of this new subdivision. So they're responsible for constructing it. Once the final map comes, which will come back to the city council for review and approval, that will be dedicated over to the city. So that point, we're now required for maintenance on that, and that is paid through the assessment district process that the developer still has to go through. So this subdivision has to be added to an assessment district. The assessment district will then do the improvements on that sound wall if anything comes up. In terms of the fencing in between the neighbors and Chispa's apartments and the mobile home park, that we are required to make sure that the fencing is there on the property lines and it develops up to the development standards, no more than 6 feet, unfortunately, for residential areas. But once the properties are sold individually, it is between the property owners for maintenance. They are able to come into code enforcement and provide the complaint, and code enforcement will follow up. But unfortunately, we don't have that's as far as it can go, because I think it's more of a civil case at that end, at that point between properties. We just need to know that it's a compliant fence, that is 6 feet. The materials are adequate for that proposed fencing. And if there's no compliance with that, then it'll be a code enforcement case that they can report to.
And if it is a code enforcement case, would that then mean that the city is able to issue citations to the property to fix it if it's not fixed, or what's the next step? I don't know who to direct that to.
I believe there are some administrative citations that go with some of the nuisance, because it could be a nuisance issue in terms of the fence falling. It could be a hazard, even though it's a 6-foot fence. It could still be a hazard in terms of falling over. Sometimes there's heavy rains or just the lack of maintenance itself. There could be some nuisance ties within our municipal code in terms of the fence. But it would start ultimately with the code enforcement report being filed and then processed through.
I hope this maybe answers some of the concerns, maybe doesn't solve the concerns. Yeah. Alrighty. Well, I think those were my only comments and questions. So at this time, council, I will entertain a motion to approve resolution number 6375. Have to read the whole thing again.
You read the title already, so
So I can say resolution number 6375 and ordinance number 70.
Well, the first action is the resolution, and then
Okay.
the second.
Okay.
the first action is the CEQA.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You could do them together, but it's probably better
Oh.
for record purposes. if you
Yes.
can do that. So,
Okay.
yeah, take the reso first.
Sounds good. So again, council, I will entertain a motion to adopt resolution number 6375.
So moved.
All right. I have a first and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? 2 absences. Alrighty. So we will now move on to I will now entertain a motion to adopt, waive reading, and read by title only ordinance number 781. And I will motion. So can I get a second?
Second.
All right. It has been properly motioned and seconded. Again, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? 2 absences. All right. Thank you.
Thank
so
you.
much. All right, council. Next, we'll move on to our business item number 1, resolution number 6396, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Soledad approving an agreement with the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection, CAL FIRE, for services from July 1st, 2026 to June 30th, 2027 at a not to exceed cost of $3,046,207 for the duration of the term, and authorizing the city manager to execute said agreement on behalf of the city of Soledad.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Temp and City Council members. As was just read into the record, this is the item of our, what has now become our annual CAL FIRE agreement. It is the hope in the future that we will return to our normal 3-year agreements. But given that our financial status at this point, the staff believes it's prudent to only enter into a 1-year agreement. It's on. So just by way of some background, the city has contracted with CAL FIRE since 2012 for the staffing of the city fire department. Approximately 4 years ago, the city was informed that all municipalities contracting with CAL FIRE would need to move their staffing to what is called 3.0 staffing, or at a 3.0 level. This means that there would need to be 3 firefighting personnel on each shift. The requirement is primarily for the safety of the firefighters and for the safety of the public when responding to calls. Over the last few years, CAL FIRE has been a great partner with the city and has worked with us to slowly increase staffing levels so that we did not have to make this leap all at one time. This fiscal year, as the council is aware, the city sought a revenue source to accomplish the increased cost by placing a parcel tax on the June 2nd election called Measure A. Unfortunately, the measure was not successful. And the city is now tasked with making significant budget adjustments to comply with the contract requirements. Once again, through our partnership with CAL FIRE, the state has agreed to allowing the city to have an additional 6 months to implement the 3.0 staffing. This window of time will give the city an opportunity of time to try and secure other funding sources and or adjust the city budget accordingly. This was actually one of the main reasons that we proposed delaying the budget adoption until August, and so that we had the results of the election. By way of reference, the city of Greenfield adopted budget for 2026-27 for fire services is just slightly over $3.2 million. So you can see that we are right in line. You know, the argument that sometimes we have heard is that CAL FIRE is more expensive than what the city is paying for. And their budget also, I believe, I'm correct in this, does not currently include a chief. The chief services is shared with the police chief. So this evening, staff is recommending that the city council adopt resolution 6396, approving an agreement with the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection for the period of July 1st, 2026 through June 30th of 2020 seed at an amount not to exceed $3,046,207. And I will note that the current contract, the cost of this current contract includes moving to the 3.0 staffing by January. With that, this concludes my report, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you so much. All right, so I will now take it up to the public for any questions or comments. Seeing none in the chamber, I will take it up to Zoom. Seeing none on Zoom, I will take it back to council for any council questions or comments, and I'll start with Councilwoman Bañuelos.
No comments or questions.
Councilmember Caldera.
My comment is for CAL FIRE, I just want to be transparent. Well, I'm very thankful that CAL FIRE has is actually playing, if you want to call it playing, working with the city of Soledad, to accommodate us and helping us out and kind of, I don't know if it's deferring it, but kind of like giving us a little bit of time to help us adjust to our finances. Just want to say that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I also do not have any questions or comments. So, council, I will entertain a motion to adopt resolution number 6396.
Motion to approve?
All right. Motion to approve, second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None. Any abstentions? None. All right, 2 absences. We'll move on then to our next item of business, which is to receive the Soledad Police Department AB 481 annual report and provide direction. And I will turn this over to
Me.
All right.
Council, I'm hoping that this process is somewhat familiar to you. We've been doing it now for several years. By way of background, in 2022, legislation was adopted in the state regarding the police department's use of military equipment. Concerns have been raised about the fact that many local police departments had acquired and were using or potentially using military equipment for local law enforcement purposes. That wasn't the case with the city of Soledad, but there definitely were reports of some of the larger cities like Los Angeles and San Diego having, rocket launchers and tanks and so forth and so on. They really had some significant pieces of military equipment that they felt that they might need in case of riots, things along those lines. So there were some concerns about the use of that equipment and any controls that could be used for that type of equipment, and the legislation was then adopted. The legislation established 2 new requirements for cities and police departments. First, the police department, every police department in the state of California is required to adopt a policy regarding the use of military equipment. And the policy addresses things like such as the maintenance of the equipment that you have, the use of the equipment, and who is responsible for the oversight of the use and acquisition of military equipment. The military policy that the city of Soledad currently uses is the Lexipol policy that was developed, Lexipol being an entity that prepares policies for police departments throughout the United States. And so that's the policy that we adopt, but the law requires the policy to be reviewed and approved on an annual basis. And so that policy will be coming back for city council and public consideration at the meeting on August 5th. So that was the first requirement. The second requirement is that the police department must prepare and submit an annual report on military equipment. Basically, the annual report is an inventory of all the military equipment that is used and possessed by the police department. It includes information such as how often the equipment was used, what the maintenance costs may be, any complaints that may have been received regarding the use of the equipment during the year, and so forth. So department has done this during the last 4 years. We've actually had no changes. This is the first year that we do have some additions to the annual report. And the 2 additions are 2 drones that the city has. One was acquired in 2022. The other was acquired in 2026, this year, I believe in March. Those drones have not been, the one that was recently purchased would not have shown up on this, anything other than this report, but the 2022 drone should have been on previous reports. There was a misunderstanding in the department regarding whether or not drones that are available on a commercial basis, in other words, that you could buy on Amazon or wherever it is that people buy drones, that those would not be considered military equipment, and so therefore that they did not need to be disclosed on the military report. That has since been corrected. The penalty for not reporting the military equipment is twofold. One is you have to actually report out to the public that you made a mistake and that you previously left off that equipment. And secondly, you can't use the equipment until the use and acquisition of the equipment has been approved by the city council. That's coming at you in another, the subsequent staff report that we have. But for now, we just have the police report, the annual report, and the annual report lists both of the pieces of equipment, the drones. One is a larger drone that was used over the years for a variety of purposes. The more recent acquisition is a much smaller drone used for somewhat the same purposes, but as I'll describe later, is more mobile. It's much smaller and can go in and out of buildings and so forth. So it's useful in circumstances that the larger drone is not good for. Again, I will repeat that the drones now, because of the fact that they were not listed properly and not acquired in accordance with the law. In other words, you as the city council need to approve the acquisition of any piece of military equipment. And since that didn't happen, both of these drones are sidelined until the council considers and approves. The older drone, the 2022 drone, has not been used very often during the last fiscal year. I think that there was a number, I think 13 was the number of uses in the past year. And that's primarily because it's breaking down. There's some technical problems with the use of the drone. And because it is an older model, it doesn't seem like it's that old to me, but because it's an older model, repair parts are not available. So there's a good chance that that drone's going to be surplused. May not be used again, but it still was listed. And the newer drone, even though it was purchased in March of this year, has not been deployed at all, and will now not be deployed until the council considers taking action on retroactively approving the acquisition of the drone. So the only thing that the council needs to do, the process is to accept the report this evening and then direct staff to publicize a public hearing regarding the annual report. We will do that, at least in theory, on the same night that we are doing the policy review. So that would be also on August 5th. I will prepare the notice as I've done in the past and forward it to our folks, and they'll post it and the annual report on the website so that folks will have access to it.
All right, thank you so much for that detailed report. And so I will take it out to the public. Just if we have any public comment on this item. Seeing none in the chamber, I'll take it out to Zoom. Seeing no hands raised on Zoom, I will bring it back to council for any comments. Councilmember Caldera.
None here other than we'll take the punishment, whatever
Right.
we need to do to move forward.
Councilwoman Munoz.
No questions, but just a comment. Thank you for the detailed presentation, Mike. And that was it. And thank you for the Soledad PD.
Awesome. And then for myself, I think I want to thank the PD also. I think this report's a little bit more detailed than reports I've seen in the past for this AB, what is it? AB 481. So I appreciate it. There seems to be a little bit more detail. So that's great. And so I think the direction would be to
Just need consensus.
Do we have consensus to post this and publicize for a public
Yes.
hearing? Awesome. So
I will also note for the record that because these two drones are sidelined does not mean we are without a drone over the 4th of July. I know that sometimes folks are concerned about using the drones to see where fires are and so forth. And CAL FIRE does have access to drones and authority to use the same. This military equipment policy does not apply to CAL FIRE's use of drones.
thank you for the clarification. I think it's important. Alrighty. And so now I will move on to business item number 3, which is ordinance number 782, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Soledad retroactively authorizing the purchase and use of an unmanned aerial system drone and making findings in compliance with Soledad Police Department Policy Manual 709 military equipment. And so I will turn this over to
Me.
Mike.
So this is a follow-up, obviously, to the report that you just received. Both the policy that the city has as well as the law require that the acquisition, i.e. purchase of military equipment, must be approved by the city council before it happens. So with respect to the smaller drone that I mentioned, the police department and staff are seeking the city council's approval of the retroactive approval of that drone. By way of detail, the drone is identified for use for public safety and life preservation missions, hostage situations, major traffic collision investigations, natural disaster management, or disaster response and recovery. The drones were really helpful when we had some problems when we thought that we were going to have over spills at the wastewater treatment plant, or that there was, we had flooding and storms in the past. And so the drones have been helpful in that regard. They're helpful in the search for lost or missing persons or rescue events. They help the police department in the service of search warrants. And they're also helpful for us to have for mutual aid purposes as well. So sometimes CAL FIRE would be coming to us for the use of our drones for fire purposes. So the drones definitely have a value to the police department. As I mentioned, this is a much smaller unit and has been flagged by police departments throughout the state for its use in active shooter type situations, where it could be actually flown into a school if somebody was inside the school holding folks hostage, that sort of situation. So it's small. Not only can it fly in, but then it could be made stationary. It could be sort of find a nice perch somewhere and then have give the police department a view of what was going on inside a small building and so forth. So very helpful tool to have. So the cost of this drone was $1,459, and so the city's staff is going to be asking the council to consider the adoption of the ordinance that will allow retroactively the purchase of that. Once that happens, if it does happen, then we still have to wait 30 days after the adoption of the ordinance before the drone could be used again. But that is what the city is seeking. That's why the ordinance is before you for introduction, waiver of reading, and reading by title only this evening. Happy to entertain any questions.
All right, thank you so much. So again, I will take this out to the public for any question, for any public comment. Seeing none in the chamber, I will take it out to Zoom. Seeing none on Zoom, I will bring it back to the council for any questions or comments, starting with Councilmember Bañuelos.
Yes, Mike, I have a question. You said 1,459 with 4 cents, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And when we do move forward, that is going to be budgeted from what budget?
Well, it already was taken, I think, from.
It was taken?
Mike, you can help
Okay.
me out on this, but I think it just came out of the police departments.
Okay,
Yes, the action before you is retroactively
Retro.
approving this. This expenditure already happened
Mhm.
and the expense came out of the police department budget.
okay. So for public note, so that way it can be aware.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great, Councilmember Caldera.
Just a comment, I believe having equipment like that is very proactive and by equipping our police departments to better for a safer environment anyways, I believe we're moving the right direction there. And that is it. Thank you.
Alrighty, I think my only question or comment, and this is mostly just for transparency's sake, I know privacy is like a concern for folks. I don't know if Lieutenant wants to maybe address that question.
Good evening, all. Yes, being transparent in regards to the privacy of individuals, we have policy in place where it gives us guidelines as to, if we come across something that, is considered private, we steer away from it. We completely change direction as to, what our focus is.
All right, that was my only question.
Through the chair, the policy itself says that the use of the drone is subject to all of the constitutional protections and so forth with regard to privacy.
Correct.
And it's only operated by folks who are trained in what the law has to say with respect to privacy issues as well. So we have 2 folks, I think, now that are
Yes, sir.
already trained in the use of the drone. So and they're cognizant of the restrictions on privacy.
All right. What if I said you're not recognized? Imagine. Just kidding. Go ahead.
Take this gavel away.
So what would you say privacy is or would be? Is it like, somebody sunbathing in the backyard? swimming pool or not looking through someone's windows and that kind of stuff?
Sure, exactly that. We can use that scenario is if something like that were to occur and we have a specific reason and a mission to fly this drone and we come across that, the pilot would definitely, zoom away from that part of it. We have an obligation to,
Awesome. Thank
Yes,
you
sir.
so much. All right. Thank you, Lieutenant.
Thank you.
All right. So, council, I will entertain a motion to adopt and approve ordinance number 782.
It's not approved, it's introduced.
Oh, sorry, introduce ordinance number 782. And do I have to read the whole thing?
No, we already read it.
Oh, good. Sounds good. I will second. And so all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? 2 absences. All right, thank you so much. And so we will now move on to mayor's reports and acknowledgements. So Mayor Pro Tems, I guess, right? So I think for me, I just wanted to talk a little bit about my favorite word, misinformation. And I know that that kind of tends to happen a lot. You know, a lot of folks are very passionate about certain items, and I want to say that I'm sorry, I'm talking. I want to say that, you know, misinformation is you okay?
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Anyway, so I would like to say that misinformation, I know when you kind of read something kind of goes awry, I just wanted to make a note of a few things that I kind of have seen online regarding our fireworks. I know that's all over the news. I don't know why. It must be very slow news. I think I saw I think I saw about 7 articles about this through KSVW specifically, and I just think it's very interesting. I do want to note that last year we had a conversation about our budget, and so we had the conversation that we would not be moving forward with I think donation or paying part of the fireworks. Also, I wanted to note that there is a fireworks committee that is not part of our city. I know Councilwoman Banuelos sits on the committee, and so just want folks to be aware that it is not a city sanctioned committee. It is outside of the city, and Councilwoman Banuelos just happens to be part of it. I know we are all in different sorts of committees. I used to be on the Salinas Valley Pride Committee. Doesn't mean that's a committee from the city just because a council member is there. So I wanted to make that clarification too. And I think, you know, again, folks, passion is passion. I think we're all able to make our comments, but again, misinformation is something that I take very seriously. We see that a lot. And so I know that there are also comments that we're not transparent. And I think something about the city of Soledad is that we are actually extremely transparent. Everything we do is publicized. Our budget is part of the public record. You can also go online. It's posted online. I just looked at it right now to make sure it was there before I said that, right? So I just want to make sure that folks know that we are not pocketing any of the money as well. I know that's something that has been said too. And I also wanted to publicly state that myself and Mayor Velasquez actually have decided to defer our city council pay. So we literally do not get paid to sit here. So I just wanted to make that clear as well. And I think for my final note, I just want to say, yes, I am openly gay. I am the first openly gay council member here in the city of Soledad. For some reason, I mean, I think I know why, right? Because I saw this being a huge deal after 2024. I am gay. I did win with 70% of the vote. Sorry, I don't know what else to say. So with that, I will turn it over to Councilwoman Banuelos for any of her council member reports.
Okay, so I have, on June 18th, I did attend the cemetery board. June 19th, I did attend the Salinas Valley Recycles board meeting as well. June 20th, I did attend the Benefit Fitness celebrating 20 years of business. I want to say thank you, congratulations to April Litke. June 22nd, I did attend the 4th of July committee. June 25th, I did attend the President Kickoff Gathering, part of the Soledad Rotary, to say thank you to Mr. Banks for his retirement. I also did attend, as part of being the Citizens Advisory Committee for both prisons, I did attend the CTF promotion ceremony on the 26th. And I did a briefing with Mike, and today I also attended, I received an invite for CTF for the staff appreciation on behalf of the Citizens Advisory Committee. And also I wanted to honor my Tío Chuy, who passed away recently, and he was a great man. He was into his family. He retired, and he was very good to not only the family but extended family. And also, I wanted to honor Elizabeth Saavedra. She is a great community leader here. She's a business owner as well. She's also the Folclórico instructor for Cosa de California. And, let's continue to, be uplifted, and have that positivity and her radiant soul, her radiant energy that impacted here Soledad. So I want to honor her as well, and my Tío Chuy on the last 30 seconds, but also wanted to echo what Mayor Pro Tem had mentioned in regards to everything that's going on social media for the 4th of July. Me as being co-chair for the committee, we want to make sure that I express that we need more help as far as the committee, for the committee. It's just not two of us who live in Soledad. So we need everyone here to participate. I volunteer, I give back. I love my community. So I wanted to share that with you. And again, coming next year, we want to make sure that we honor our community, and, it's very deserved. But again, we want you guys to step up and help us, me and our committee chair. So I wanted to use my 20 seconds in a moment of silence to honor my Tío Chuy and Elizabeth Saavedra. And please don't forget to attend our events on July 4th from 12 to 6.
All right, I will now turn it over to Council Member Caldera.
Just wanted to point out or mention that our heartfelt condolences to the Saavedra family, which John Saavedra was actually former mayor some years back and council member also. We actually felt their pain. I did go visit the family last Friday, and was very welcoming, and felt their pain. And that is it for me. I have nothing else. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you both for recognizing Elizabeth Saavedra. She was a classmate of mine, so I grew up with her, went to, the pool and stuff, always saw her family. And so I know my dad was friends with John Saavedra, so still is, right? They would hang out at the bakery as older men do. And so it was nice to hear that from you all. And I know it's been really hard for our community, and hard not especially for me, but like hard especially I think in my mind, because I'd just seen her like that weekend at Starbucks, and so it's just like very wild. And so thank you both. I will now turn it over to Mike for some manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem and council members. I think kind of probably great minds think alike. I think that it is important, and unfortunately, we do have had a lot of misinformation in recent days and hours. So I think for the record, we do want to actually state that unfortunately, there was a news article that was went out recently that said that the city of Soledad had canceled a fireworks event. So just for the record, the city did not cancel a fireworks show, as was recently reported. There's also been some misinformation that city staff had not appropriately or did not schedule the event in time for the event to happen, which is also not true, because as was mentioned by Mayor Pro Tem, when the adoption of the 2025-26 budget came before the council in June of last year, the fireworks show was not included. The budget line item for making a donation to the 4th of July committee was not included in the budget. In fact, by way of background, I've been with the city since 2012, and it's only been the last, I think, 3 years that the city has made some kind of contribution level to assist with the committee. Typically, that the show has gone on through the efforts of an incredible committee that to the 4th of July Committee for Soledad, which is similar to many other small or our sister cities here in South County. The cities are not, the city itself is not sponsoring the show, but there are nonprofit groups such as in King City, it's the Chamber of Commerce that fundraises the necessary funds to put on the whole day's events. So with that being said, however, the 4th of July Committee has put together an incredible and a wonderful family-free event planned for the 4th of July at Little League Park from 12 to 6. The community is certainly invited, and we hope comes out and celebrates as a community. And as city staff, we would like to wish everyone in the city of Soledad a very safe 4th of July celebration and remind the public that the only legally authorized fireworks for our celebration are the Safe and Sane fireworks. And that concludes my report.
Just want to clarify that it's a family-friendly event that is free, not a family-free event.
Family-free. Okay. It's a single. You're right.
Finally, something for me. Just kidding. No, thank you so much, Mike, for that. And so now I will move on to our future agenda items. Do we have any future agenda items from any of the council members? No. Alrighty, so I would like to adjourn this meeting at 8:03, and I would like to adjourn in memory of Elizabeth Saavedra.